pants there. So, and now he just, does this show every now and then.
Now he's the king of all media.
Right. It did feel like the entire NFL universe was coming for that man this weekend after the Chiefs officiating tweet early before the championship games. It felt like the entire NFL world was like, where's this Schefter dude at? I want to talk to him.
Well,
it's like, what?
I don't think the refs are in the bag for the Chiefs. I just think they're psychologically wired, and they may not even know they're doing it, to give advantages to the Chiefs. I think it's a weird, deep state, psychological, almost like they're in some sort of Chiefs cult, Scott. I think, hey, Adam Schefter, there he is. We're just talking about him. He's signing on. Adam Schefter is brought to you by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live. Love where you bank. Visit ccu.org to learn more. Adam, good to see you, my man. I just want to introduce you to Berto, Mark Bertinoli, who's been in the Denver market forever. He's filling in for Tyler today. And Scott is on the road in Philadelphia, and you're in your beautiful little place in Long Island, I believe. And it's all good, man. How you doing?
I thought I was going to see you at Madison Square Garden last night.
You know what? I debated coming, and I was insulted that you didn't invite me to come meet you, number one. And the truth of the matter is Tuesday night, I went to the Avalanche Islanders game. It might have been the first hockey game that I went to since I went to an Avalanche playoff game, and I met somebody from Kroenke Sports there, shall we say, and on Tuesday night. And so like I'm there and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, we got the Nuggets. I'm like, oh, that I would have really loved, like hockey. I went to see my friends, but I would have loved to have gone last night. That would have been great, but nobody invited me, and I didn't know it was in advance. So that's the way it goes.
The guy you saw in the game in Long Island, I spoke to before the game in Madison Square Garden. I mean, I guess he probably could have got you a lot better seats than I could have.
Well, that's no doubt about that. Zero doubt about that. Listen, the Justin Tucker stuff. What do you want to say about the news about Justin Tucker that's come out within the past hour or so?
Listen, obviously you read it, you feel like you're going down a familiar path again, right? Like I feel like I've seen this story before, and everybody's entitled to their day, and you got to make sure everything is right. Obviously, there are a lot of people that put a lot of time into that story. There's deeply disturbing allegations in there. The league is looking into it.
Well, let me recap just quickly for people who might not know. There's allegations from 6 different massage therapists saying that Justin Tucker had inappropriate behavior around them. And this was reported by a newspaper in Baltimore. How am I doing on that? And Tucker has put out a lengthy statement defending himself.
Yeah.
Did I basically get that?
Yeah, he said it's unequivocally false, right? So that's where we're at. They have a well-reported story. He says it's unequivocally false. See where it all goes, right?
Okay. All right, just checking in on it, and we'll see. Like you said, we'll see where it goes. Do you think referees favor the Chiefs not consciously, but subconsciously? They don't even know they're doing it, but it's happening.
Let me say this. Scott, you played against Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Do the best players
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Before you even ask the question, yes, I did.
Okay. And like, I don't see what's wrong with this, right? Like, Tom Brady got calls. Teddy Bruschi said Tom Brady got some. It's not overt. It's not anything like you look at and go, oh my God, they're really giving this guy the advantage. It's just, you're talking about all-time legendary players that I think subliminally they get the benefit of the doubt on certain calls.
Yep.
That's it.
I'll tell you a quick story that I thought crossed the line of being unfair. And I was sitting back when they had the announcers sitting right on the table, and I'm sitting on the table in Los Angeles. Kobe's playing, gets called for his third foul early, and is just yelling at this one referee. And the referee all of a sudden goes, Kobe, and the Nuggets were shooting a free throw, and he goes, Kobe. And he comes over, and they're standing literally right in front of me. He goes, dog, come on, don't come at me like that. He goes, you know I'm not going to let you foul out.
Oh, jeez.
And I went.
Great.
Wow. And I went. Now, to me, that's crossing the line. right? I mean, I think that's crossing the line. But do they get calls? Does LeBron? I watched a video the other night of LeBron dunking.
Right.
He took 6 steps. Yeah, they tend to look up sometimes when the star players do things.
But people are offended by this, right? Like, I mean, it's just, it is what it is, right? I mean, what are we going to do?
Well, what are we going to do?
Well,
nothing?
Listen,
is that just it?
And here, I don't know what you can do because I think it's Chamberlain didn't feel like he ever got calls, but I mean, let's be honest, that was the 60s. I don't know. I think it's been going on forever and ever. The problem is you've got more cameras than any time before. You've got more social media than any time before. Everybody's going to find. I mean, after every single game the Chiefs have won this year, there have been videos out that, the ref missed this call, the ref missed this call, the ref missed this call. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not, sometimes it doesn't matter. But when it adds up and when you get inundated with it and you're seeing a view, and now you got guys, if you've seen the non-first down, right, for Buffalo, there's people now putting tracking lines across the film, and it's showing his whole head past the line. And after a while, you get inundated to where you think, well, gosh, maybe there is something going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I just think the best players of all time get benefit of the doubt. You proved it, Scott, with your story. I just think it's that simple. Like, we could look into it all we want. Like, do I think that the officials are going out to try to help? No, I don't think that. I think that's ridiculous. I think people get carried away. Do I think that when Mahomes in the pocket and there's a question, do I think that an official might subconsciously that's plausible. We've seen it, right? There's nothing wrong with it. That it's a tribute to his greatness and how great he's been.
Do you think it's affecting the integrity of the sport? Or, I mean, because as long as there's the engagement.
That's for people. I don't think that it is. Like, it's just a part of the way sports have been. Like, if it's blatant, which I don't think it's blatant, then it does. But I haven't seen that.
What's the best storyline in the Super Bowl, Adam?
Well, going for the three-peat. I mean, it's the most basic, it's the most simple, it's the most cliche, but it's the most true, right?
So, okay, let's going down that path. Historically, if the Chiefs were to do this, that's never been done, would it make them logically the best team ever? How about that one? Ooh. Does that make them the best team ever?
Here's what I would say. To say that they're the best team ever, I don't know that you could say that. Like, were they better than the 70s Steelers or the 80s Cowboys and Niners or it was the 89ers and the 90 Cowboys and the 2000 or this decade's Patriot? Like, I don't know. I can say this. They've done something that no team has ever done before. They've won 3 Super Bowls. So we could debate all that stuff, but it's undeniable that they've done something, if they win in the Super Bowl, that nobody else has. That's their distinction. Like, everybody could argue all they want. The facts would be the facts. No team's ever won 3 straight Super Bowl titles. The last NFL team to win 3 straight titles was the Green Bay Packers from 1965 to 67, when they're up to 16 teams in the league. There was no salary cap, and the Packers had to win 7 postseason games over 3 years to win the 3 straight titles, right? Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is more impressive. I don't know that it makes them a better team, but it puts them in a unique category if they finish off the three-peat.
Yeah, I kind of think about those great teams. Like the Cowboys had a little blip. Steelers had a little blip. Niners had, little bumps in the road. Like, it is actually pretty phenomenal to think that you could do this literally 3 years in a row. It's an interesting argument to make, especially in light of how much parity Adam seems to be in the league. And then to see how close these Chiefs wins have been this entire season. Like, it's crazy.
I just want to say this, like 17 straight victories in 1-score games.
That's unbelievable.
It's hard to imagine that. It's hard to, so what that tells me is that all these teams, every one of these teams has their shot and nobody gets them. Nobody. Why
Well,
is that?
that brings up the referee conspiracy theory. Then
No,
You kinda-
it's
Well,
beyond that. Come on.
well,
I mean,
I don't know.
come on. Come on.
Well,
That's not the ref.
Let's spot that ball again.
Hey, Hubie Brown told me years and years ago, great teams win close games, and I think you got to put Kansas City in a great team, otherwise they wouldn't be going for 3 in a row. That being said, because that is the story, 3 in a row and everything else, is the country, the national media, the people that follow the NFL and the Super Bowl, are they sleeping on the Philadelphia Eagles by any chance?
Well, you know what, Scott? We're going to find that on Sunday. I mean, I don't think we're sleeping on them. Like, we're giving the Chiefs their flowers and what they deserve because they've been so great. But, you know, the Eagles, they've won 13 straight games that Jalen Hurts has finished. 13 straight, right? They had a chance to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and didn't do it. And I would argue, right or wrong, we'll find out, that this Eagles team is better than the one that lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, strictly because they've added Saquon Barkley and they've added Vic Fangio on the defensive side of the football, and they have Kellen Moore on the offensive side of the football, and they've really kind of overhauled that defense to where there are 7 new defensive starters from the one that started in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, I mean, this is a really good Eagles team, but you know what? We can't answer how really good they are until they play the team that nobody beats in one-score games.
Right.
Do you think the NFL is a better league with dynasties, with these dominant teams like the Patriots dynasty and now what the Chiefs are doing?
I don't know. I don't know that it matters, right? Like how many people are going to watch the Super Bowl? How many tens of millions? Like, it doesn't matter. We're going to watch whether they've won before or whether they haven't, whether it was the Chiefs or whether it was the Bills, whether it's the Eagles or whether it's the Commanders. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it good? All we care about is seeing an entertaining game, and I think that these two teams have a real possibility of playing an entertaining game on Sunday. A week from Sunday.
How much money is T. Higgins going to get Adam in free agency? What's his number going to be, you think?
I would guess 30 plus a year.
Yeah, I think so too. There's like a dozen guys that are in that ballpark. Like, you know.
By the way, the agent, like, it sounds like they could tag him.
Really? Ooh, really?
So, possible. I don't know how it's going to play out, but yeah, it's certainly. I don't think he's very happy. I don't know that that's what they want. But, you know, like these guys, first of all, he's working with the same agent that's representing Jamar Chase. So it's like all these guys are, you know, they want to try to stay together if they can, if there's a way.
Well, the first year tag is the average of the top 5, so he'd be clearing 30 easily clearing 30. But that's only a 1-year deal. Like, whoa.
I think the tag for T. Higgins right now will be over 24, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check. It's over 24. But by the way, 24, that's a bargain, right?
24 would be a bargain. Am I wrong on that? I thought it was the average of the top 5. So maybe I got that wrong. I just know that there's about a dozen guys or so that are like 28 and up in terms of the highest paid receivers. But I'm not sure, I guess. So 24 would definitely be a bargain. Okay, fine. I mean, he'll be an unhappy camper, but you got him, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the second tag is the top 3, I thought. So I don't know what the Bengals' finances are, but I suppose you could do it for a couple years, I guess. I mean, geez, that's heavy bread for like 2 dudes, though. So I don't know.
Jamar's going to want about 40 a year.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so you can't pay Burrow 50 plus, Jamar 40 plus.
What are we doing?
I don't know that it work. I don't know if there's a way to make that work. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
Burrow will still keep getting sacked 6-7 times a game because they can't afford an offensive line.
Yeah, but they're really good on 3rd and 12 because they got $70 million of receivers. So I mean, you got that going for you. But that's a tough way to make your money, no doubt about it. All right, Adam, what's your Super Bowl plans? Who's going to be busier broadcasting the Super Bowl, you or your daughter?
Her, because she's flying down Sunday with me and my wife, and then they're flying back Tuesday, and then she's coming back Friday after school to go do post-game interviews. So she's like the one jet setting here, back and forth. And I'm just going to be staying in New Orleans and trying to, be safe and whatnot.
All right, my man. Well,
have you ever or do you ever go to Bourbon Street anymore?
Bourbon Street, Scott. I got wild stories, Scott.
I love New Orleans. It's my favorite Super Bowl city by a mile. It's the best. It's the best.
Oh my God! It's what Super Bowl would have been there? What was the last Super Bowl? Maybe Packers Patriots?
No, I think it was the. Oh, was it? Okay, because I was at Niners Ravens.
Patriots? Was Rams Patriots in New Orleans? I think it was. It was Rams.
Okay, I forget. I've seen a couple there, man. It's great. It's the best.
I remember being out bumping into. I don't know if they were. I remember this. I was out with some people and bumped into the McCaffreys early, and then I was out really late, bumped into the McCaffreys with different people. it was a wild.
Hey, Adam, check this out. I got you beat on this one in terms of bumping in. I bumped into Bubby Barister on Bourbon Street at like 1 a.m. I couldn't understand a word he was saying, but we hung out for 3 or 4 hours, and I swear to God, I have no idea what he said, but it was awesome.
It didn't have to be 1 a.m. on Bourbon Street to not understand what Bubby was saying.
No kidding. I mean, you start with not understanding him, and then you factor in Bourbon Street and Bubby on Bourbon Street. It was awesome.
Saying that, Bubby was fantastic.
Hey Adam, the only time I ever missed a team bus to go to the game when I was calling Broncos was in New Orleans.
Well, we all got stories. We all got stories. All right, I will let you go. Go be on TV, and we'll talk to you next week when you're in New Orleans, I guess. I hope. I mean, we'll try to figure that out,
That's should be a fun.
All right, my man. Adam Schefter. Thank you, Adam. Adam Schefter, the best.
See you, buddy.
Thanks for the invite, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Wow.
All right, my bad.
Wow.
My bad.
Adam's literally hanging out with the guy that could have put him at center court, Scott, so I wouldn't feel any guilt about that whatsoever.
I know.
My Lord.
I know.
Adam Schefter, brought to you by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank. Visit ccu.org to learn more. Time for Sports Not Sports.
PhD presents